More now on Sri Lanka's parliamentary elections. The vote count has begun, and President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's SLPP party is shown to be leading nationally with more than 58% support. For a closer look, we're joined by Dr. Chulanee Attanayake. She is the visiting research fellow at the NUS Institute of South Asian Studies. Thank you for joining us this evening. Firstly, is it likely that President Rajapaksa will achieve a two-thirds majority, and what will happen if he doesn't?
Thank you for having me here today. I think from the results that have been already released, SLPP is in a comfortable majority victory. It's too early to predict whether they will achieve a two-third majority as they expected. But what we see is that they will have a strong majority in the parliament to form a government. So even if they don't get a majority, they will not have a problem in forming a government.
But
even if they don't get a two-thirds majority.
So saying that, the Rajapaksas, we know, are reportedly planning to amend the constitution and restore presidential powers. Will this actually see a pushback from the opposition as well as maybe perhaps from the public?
As you already know, that the political crisis in 2018 showed that the 19th Amendment had some ambiguities. So therefore, an amendment to the Constitution would be required to clear those grey areas. But the amendment has to ensure that there's a proper balance between the executive and the legislature, and also that the two institutions can exist in harmony and can work together. It also should strengthen democratic rights of people, not dilute them. If the constitutional amendment they would be proposing include these factors, I don't think there will be major pushback from the public. And I don't think the opposition also can argue to a greater extent against the amendment.
And how significant then is this election to China and India, two big sort of partners of Sri Lanka?
Well, Sri Lanka is having a very interesting relationship with both India and China. And as we already know that Rajapaksa government is believed to be pro-China, or that's how they are being defined. But since they came into power, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, during his visit to India, also affirmed that Sri Lanka is ready to work with all the countries and to follow. And even in his election manifesto, he affirmed that Sri Lanka will follow a foreign policy which he terms as equidistant foreign policy, without getting too close to any power, but working with everyone else closely. We see that Gotabaya Rajapaksa is putting Sri Lanka's interest first. So for him and his government, economic development for the people is a priority. So he will work with both powers equally when it comes to economic development. And also with India, he has affirmed that Sri Lanka is definitely sensitive towards India's security concerns. So I think he and his government will make sure that India does not feel left out when it comes to security matters, and that they will manage to have a balanced relationship with both.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
Thanks for your thoughts.